So hello, welcome to the Everything is Black and White podcast. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe to the channel. Andrew Musgrove here. It is the morning after Newcastle United's 4-1 victory over Girona at St James's Park. Very comfortable for Newcastle United against a very disappointing Girona. Now, in the Champions League this season, after finishing third in La Liga in the last campaign, I was really looking forward to seeing them. I expected so much more, but it was so easy for Newcastle United right from the off. We're not complaining. Good to pick up a win. Good to score 4 goals in front of your home fans, and some important goals you feel as well for those who scored them. And we'll get into that in a moment. But let me know what you thought of Girona. I thought it was going to be a real test for Newcastle United, but Girona they looked like a championship side. It was just far too easy for Newcastle United, who were able to move the ball around really easy. There was some really quick passes between the players, some really quick movement, good on the transition, and Joelinton in the middle, the absolute man mountain. What a beast. He was absolutely superb. But Newcastle United just had more energy. The high press that we saw the season before last was back. It was brilliant, and I know it's only a pre-season and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you know, yesterday's game against Girona, these are the 2 pre-season games that really matter, because you will have players wanting to state their claim for that starting 11 next weekend against Southampton. You would think that Eddie Howe already has a fair idea who's going to start against Southampton, but you can never be certain. It's never guaranteed, and there will be players playing today, players who played yesterday, thinking, I've got a chance of getting in that starting 11 against Southampton. I have to say, the starting 11 that started yesterday: Nick Pope, Tina Livramento, Emil Kraft, Dan Burn, Lewis Hall, Joelinton, Longstaff, Jamie Miley, Gordon, Murphy, Isak. You would think, other than Emil Kraft and Jamie Miley, that's probably going to be the team that starts against Southampton. Bruno, of course, will come in for Miley. And then at the back, Emil Kraft goes out for Fabian Schär. And then it's a bit of a toss-up between Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock. It'd be really interesting to see if Joe Willock features today in the second game in the Sela Cup. That will tell us a lot about who starts next weekend in the middle. But look, Sean Longstaff, 2 goals for him. He's coming for some stick, for some criticism. I've been one of those who've maybe critiqued his performance. I think that's fair to do so when it's warranted. You know, as long as you're not abusive, as long as you're fair and balanced, I think every player deserves to be critiqued. But he's scored again, and I think, he said in an interview earlier this week kind of that he wasn't naive to the stick that he gets. He feels him, Dan Burn, and Miguel Almiron are a bit like scapegoats, and I think the 2 goals he scored yesterday would have done him a world of good, his confidence a world of good, and just maybe send a timely reminder to his harshest critics just what he can do. Look, he scored 7 goals last campaign, making those runs into the box. We need to see more of that from him. He's a good player. He's a good player. Out of contract next summer, so a decision has to be made. For me, I'd keep him part of the squad. Is he first team in the long run? Probably not, but you never know. Players can find a second wind and they can surprise you. And look, if he can add to his goals tally, there's no reason why he can't have that 3rd spot in the middle. And I know Sandro Tonali's coming back, but you want competition, and Newcastle United will have competition. I certainly think Sean Longstaff starts against Southampton. I don't think Joe Willock's had enough minutes this pre-season. I know Sean was a little bit slow to take off, but since he's been in that team, he's looked really good, and I think he complements Joelinton and Bruno really well. So I think it was a big Friday for him. 2 goals, and I think he will start next Saturday, and it's a chance to really lay down a mark and to say to Sandro Tonali, look, I know how much you cost, I know how good you are, but this is my club, my team, and I've earned my right to be in this side. So great to see Sean get on the score sheet twice. And shall we talk about Jacob Murphy? Because Jacob Murphy cannot stop scoring. I mean, where has this man been? Finished the season really strongly. I defended him on the podcast because people were having a go at him for a lack of end product. But the Jacob Murphy I saw towards the end last season was just putting ball after ball in the box. And it was the forwards who weren't getting on the end of it. They put it in the back of the net. Murphy supplies the crosses. That's what he's paid to do. That's what he did last season. Brilliant. Always loved Jacob Murphy. His work rate is second to none. If you remember the season before last, no, was it this season maybe? I made a bet with Aaron Stokes, my colleague, and said Miguel Almiron's going to be dropped. It was a game against Wolves. He staked the Nando's on it that it wouldn't happen. No one believed me. No one. He said, "You're crazy," and he started. Always been a big fan of Jacob Murphy. Yes, it maybe comes at the expense of the Miguel Almiron fan club, but look, serious note, Murphy's been fantastic this pre-season. Another goal from yesterday. He's playing with confidence. Shoot on sight, get the ball in the box. He looks fit, doesn't he? He looks like he's been in the gym for months on end. He looks a bit more bulky. He starts against Southampton for me. I know we think the right wing is a position, but I think he's probably given Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell something to think about. It's not maybe necessarily as big as a priority as it was. And if it allows you to spend £65 million on Mark Gay, you get a player like him into the squad now, and maybe look to January, and then that's when you get the right wing in. Look, obviously you want someone in on that flank now because you always want to improve, and they do need it. They do need an improvement because Miggy and Murphy long term isn't the answer. But if Murphy can keep that form going for the next few months, absolutely brilliant. Almiron off the bench as an impact player. It doesn't look like he's going anywhere for now. Newcastle's more saleable asset, but no one's coming in. No one's coming in. No one from Saudi, no one from the Premier League. So I think there's a really strong possibility that not only do Newcastle United start next Saturday with Miggy and Murphy in the squad, I think they might end the transfer window with Miggy and Murphy in the squad, and maybe not get someone in on the flank. Eddie Murphy. I've been watching Beverly Hills Cop this week. That's why I've said that. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Howe said in his press conference yesterday after the Girona game about transfers, and he said, we're always looking to bring players in. The quote was something along the lines of, "We're looking to add one in." Someone will correct us in the comments, but I'm sure the quote was, "We're looking to add one." And so it doesn't even look like maybe it's going to be the two that we're hoping for. Of course, the sign William Masula. Will he get a chance to show what he's all about today in the second Sela Cup game? We'll wait and see. But he can also play on both flanks, which again, look, it's not an ideal situation, but Newcastle don't have an endless pot of money. Time is running out in the transfer window. They don't have European football to offer. In an ideal world, you have that person on the flank, you have that Mark Gay, and you potentially even have a more senior striker coming, but it's not as simple as that. They have numbers there. Do they have quality on the flank? That is the question. But look, Murphy is really staking a claim. He's been brilliant. I'm all for it. A boyhood Newcastle United fan, living his dream, all smiles. And it's easy maybe to be the good character, to be the joker in the pack, but this is about working hard on the pitch and producing results. And if he can just take the form of pre-season and take it into the new season, then absolutely brilliant. And I'm all for that. Who else scored? Well, Anthony Gordon got on the score sheet as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Lots of speculation over his future with Liverpool linked a couple of months back now. He's not going anywhere. He's happy at Newcastle United. I think that goal would have done him the world of good as well, and shown the love that the fans have for him, that Eddie Howe has for him. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Newcastle are in a really strong position. Unless Anthony Gordon asks to leave, he's staying. Gordon's not agitating for a move. Liverpool haven't come back to the table anyway, and if they did, it's going to cost you the best part of 120 million, I would say. You don't want to sell that. You don't want to cash in. He's brilliant. Newcastle's best player last season. He's not going anywhere. Great to see him get a goal, and that will do his confidence the world of good as well. After disappointing Euros for him, where he didn't get on the pitch other than for 3 or 4 minutes, ridiculous. So good to see him get on the score sheet. And we have to talk about some of the players who didn't get on the score sheet. Alexander Isak, oh my God. We knew he was good. Brilliant season last season. Carried the load because Callum Wilson couldn't be on the pitch for most of the season. He didn't score yesterday, but he looked so dangerous. Like, he was just unbelievable. The speed when he's got the ball at his feet, the way he twists and turns. I was excited for this season with Alexander Isak, but after watching him last night, I'm even more excited. Like, just wow. You run out of words to describe how good he is. There were moments yesterday when he had no right to keep hold of the ball. He had no right to beat the defender, and he just did it. The way he won his penalty, absolutely brilliant. Okay, he missed the penalty, yes, but the way he won it, brilliant. And he's going to be let me know in the comments, how many goals is Alexander Isak going to get in the new season? Could he win the Golden Boot? I'm going to go for 30 goals. I think he will hit 30 goals as he fires Newcastle back into the Champions League. He looks happy as well, which is another good thing. I'm just so excited to see him in the Premier League. He's in my fantasy football team as well. He was just so good yesterday, so good, and it was good to see him, linking up with the midfield as well and the passes, but he was dropping deep at times and then breaking with speed, because that's what he's really good at, and defenders can't handle it. And there was a moment late in the second half when he runs through and the keeper makes a good save, but he must collect the ball near enough to the halfway line, and the speed that he runs towards the defence, and he's just going like that, and the defender just didn't know what to do, and he's just so quick, picks up the pace into the box. Decent save, to be fair, but he's certainly whet the appetite for the new season. Has Alexander Isak. Joelinton in the middle, absolute beast. Can't wait to see him have a full season fully fit. Huge loss when he got injured against Sunderland. Newcastle had a massive hole in the middle yesterday. He was just winning ball after ball. I think he had a role in nearly three of the goals, because he won the ball back twice for two of them, and the other one he just he belted forward. But his attributes: great in the challenge, strong, leaves nothing behind, gives everything. But with the ball at his feet as well, he can go forward, he can pick a pass, and he can shoot on sight as well. He's got everything, absolutely everything. Absolute beast in the middle. The midfield enforcer Newcastle missed last season, but the box-to-box attributes as well. Him fit. I'm so excited. Him and Alexander Isak and Nick Pope as well, fully fit, raring to go. Newcastle United are going to be a force with those three making up the spine, and Anthony Gordon as well on the right wing. They've got a lot of good players, but Joelinton, I just was watching him just like, yes, Joelinton, because we missed him so much last season. Great to see him put in a fantastic performance yesterday. Shout out for Jamie Miley as well, the older Miley brother. There's another two, isn't there, Lewis? And I can't remember, what's the other one called? There's a story on our website. But he's getting better. He's getting better game by game. And again, he looked composed yesterday. And yes, pre-season, yes, Girona were awful, but he looked very composed yesterday. Had a lot of legs about him. Comfortable on the ball. Could he have a part next season alongside his brother? I mean, Lewis obviously blew everybody away. He's injured at the moment, but there's a good opportunity for Jamie just to become a squad player and have a part of it. Obviously, if he's not going to get the minutes, then maybe you send him out on loan, but he's certainly impressing quietly, I think. He looked good. The other person I want to give a shout out to is Seni. Comes off the bench at half time, and so exciting, so electric, dropping the shoulder, running at players, close control with the ball as he dribbles. Now look, he's raw, very young man, 17 years of age, but the stage didn't seem to affect him. He seemed to embrace it, he seemed to take it on. I think it was 1 in every 3 successful dribbles is what I've seen in the stat. I haven't checked it out myself, but not every kind of run the defence came off, but not everyone has to, and what I really liked, other than the attacking side of his game, was he was switched on defensively. He was looking around, he understood what his role was when Newcastle United didn't have the ball. Something Alan St-Maximin didn't do too well, and there's been comparisons made because of the way they collect the ball and the way they run at defence, and you can see it. But Sanusi at 17 seemed to be taking on board his defensive attributes. That's really, really important. And it's going to be really interesting to see if he's part of the squad going forward. Fingers crossed he will be. And I think there's a big chance of him. I don't think he'll go out on loan. I think he'll stay and be part of the squad. He'll learn from the players. And we'll probably see a little bit about him as the season goes on. But really, really good performance from him for those second 45 minutes. Yesterday against Girona. Just really exciting. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to go forward, but also it wasn't all about going forward. There was one moment where he gets the ball, he beats a couple of players, and he's looking for the pass, and it's not on. He's looking for the space to run into. It's not there, and he turned back and passed the ball back, and that's a sign of a mature player. You don't always have to go forward and try and beat your man. You can go back. to go forward, as they're saying, and that's what he did. He didn't always try to defeat the man, which was really good, because wingers with his potential and his attributes, i.e. good with the ball at his feet, always want to go forward. Some of them, they don't really understand how to go back, but he did. Lewis Hall good out, and Tino Livramento looked sharp. Lewis Hall, really impressive with Lewis Hall. I think that left back position is his to lose, really. And Dan Burn putting in a good shift alongside Emil Kraft as well. So that defensive pairing with Southampton's going to be interesting. I think it will be Fabian Schär and Dan Burn. If Mark Gay comes in, then maybe that switches it up to Fabian Schär and Mark Gay. But Dan Burn looking comfortable, Emil Kraft putting in a good shift, Nick Pope as well. And then we saw some youngsters. I mean, Ben Parkinson should have scored. It was great work by Trey Sanusi to get the ball to Alexander Isak, and then he'd give it to Ben Parkinson, and Ben Parkinson should have put it in the back there. Unlucky for the lad, but again, didn't look out of place in this Newcastle United squad. And there were a couple of other youngsters who got on board, but a good night for Newcastle against Girona. You know, only pre-season, but these are the pre-season games that matter, because players want to state their claim ahead of the campaign kicking off next season. Great to be back at St James's Park, looking really fresh, good atmosphere. Really enjoyed last night. Hopefully today passes without any trouble. Fingers crossed it does. AC Milan versus Newcastle Women as well, which would be a huge game. So if you're going, I hope you enjoy that. As you've probably noticed, I'm in a Travelodge in Leeds. Meeting a couple of friends in a few hours for a stag do, but I thought I'd just bring you my thoughts on last night's game. Let me know in the comments what you made of it. Were you impressed? Who were you impressed with? And how excited are you for the new season? I'll be back on Monday for the Monday show with Aaron. But until then, enjoy your weekend, and hopefully the next time we speak, Newcastle United would have lifted the Sela Cup. Enjoy.